In the most recent chapter of Boruto TBV VORTEX, well, as of the time this video is being made, we see Boruto and Shikamaru having a conversation. It was in this conversation where Shikamaru reveals that he knows the truth about Boruto and Kawaki switching roles through the influence of EIDA's omnipotence. Now, I believe this video will have a direct correlation to a past video I did explaining Kawaki's end goal and what will drive him quote unquote over the edge per se. Make sure you guys go check out that video because I do believe I came up with a solid theory as to how the end of the Age of Shinobi came to be. But throughout Boruto and Shikamaru's private conversation, they used Ino's mind transmission technique as a communication method. Normally, all telepathic conversations are recorded and documented by the detection team. This is a mandatory procedure which Ino had to break in order for this new alliance to remain a secret. The reason for this obviously is so EIDA wouldn't be able to hear or see what was going on with her Senrigan, since her Senrigan gives her the ability to recall any past event dating back to when she was born. She could easily find out what Boruto and Shikamaru are planning and kind of like share this information with the likes of Kawaki or any of the least higher ups who still consider Boruto a traitor, and eventually have Shikamaru thrown in prison for treason or even worse. Now, Shikamaru's true motives for communicating with Boruto are still in question. It's obvious though he's now willing to listen to Boruto's answer, but the method on how Shikamaru plans to help Boruto without alerting EIDA is still quite unknown. Although Shikamaru can give Boruto intel on events that occurred in the village or whatever he may need, this would provide little help against the new looming enemies that threaten Konoha like the Shinju. But for now, we can assume they're going to discuss omnipotence and how it's affected everyone for the past 3 years. And if Amato has finally come to his senses as well, then he's just another person Shikamaru can get in contact with using mind transmission to try and see what caused it and if there is a way to reverse it. Right now, besides EIDA, the only people who understand this ability somewhat is Sarada and Sumire from the conversation with her. Or you could say Momoshiki as well. But since he's not quite in the story yet, let's just leave him out of this for now. But if Shikamaru wishes to regain control of the situation in Konoha, he would have to understand it as well, probably through them or working with Amato. But the only issue here is if they do exactly that. Through understanding omnipotence and trying to find a way to reverse it comes with a big risk. Hypothetically speaking, if for some reason Kawaki finds out that Shikamaru and the others are starting to see through his lie, either through external sources or from EIDA seeing it herself, it could make the situation even worse than it already is. Although I don't believe that Kawaki will find out that Shikamaru is secretly communicating with Boruto, because he just wouldn't make that mistake of talking to Boruto in person. So for now, mind transmission would be their only safe method of communication. But there is another way for Kawaki to find out, and that depends on what their plan is and what information Shikamaru feeds Boruto, and what he's granted access to could give away their secret alliance with each other. We know from Kawaki himself that he would do absolutely anything to protect Naruto, and protecting his lie is basically the same thing as protecting Naruto in his eyes, as long as it keeps Boruto further and further away from reinstating himself in the village, which he is now doing so with the help of Amato and Shikamaru. But I said it in my Kawaki Revolution video, if Konoha, more specifically the village elders, find out about omnipotence and how it's affecting them, it could prove to be trouble for Kawaki. And not just trouble in Konoha, but since Naruto is involved and he's the 7th Hokage, it now becomes a federal problem involving the daimyo of the 5 great nations, which inevitably means this now involves the entirety of the shinobi world. Especially now after the 4th Great Ninja War, the 5 great nations are more cooperative than ever before. That being said, to keep the secret safe and avoid this situation would be Kawaki's #1 priority. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him take extreme measures such as taking Shikamaru out of the picture, as well as Amato and anyone else who tries to expose the truth. Because if you take the smartest people Konoha has to offer out of the picture, it makes solving this mystery even harder for everyone else. And it kind of gives EIDA and Kawaki even more control in Konoha. When I say taking them out the picture, let me just clarify, I don't mean unaliving them, because that's not his goal right now. His only goal would be to unalive Boruto. So with that being said, I can see him doing everyone else how he did Naruto and just simply place them in the Daikokuten dimension, at least until he takes care of Boruto. After that, he would probably just accept any punishment they have for him, since he said he really doesn't care about himself more as the protection of Naruto. So as long as Naruto's protected, he really wouldn't care what happened to him. He even said to go as far as to off himself after the OTSUTSUKI problem is taken care of. So you can see why taking out the brains of Konoha is pretty much necessary for his plan to work. The current position that Kawaki's in would be ideal because as he removes the people who are unaffected or overcame omnipotence, he could just frame Boruto again for the same acts. And since most people still believe Boruto was the one who unalived the 7th Hokage, they would just blindly heed Kawaki's word and put Boruto into an even worse position than he was already. And with that being said, we don't know if EIDA can just simply recast omnipotence. Let's say most people just overcome or start to overcome omnipotence, which would cause them to start questioning things and looking into the situation more. EIDA simply just recasting her Shinjutsu to keep Kawaki's secret still alive could be a possibility. But I don't know, since EIDA was kinda sorry she did it the first time, I don't really see her trying to do it again, even if Kawaki wishes it. So in Kawaki's case, it hasn't been stated if the Daikokuten dimension has a limit to how many objects or living things he can insert into it. So if it came down to the last resort, perhaps Kawaki would end up sealing nearly everyone just to get to Boruto. And as you look at the opening scene of the Boruto anime, you can see right here, nobody else is in the picture, only Boruto and Kawaki. And there can be a reason for this. Maybe it is Boruto and Kawaki that destroyed Konoha in their last fight. And if nobody was in the village, Boruto wouldn't feel a need to draw the fight elsewhere in fear of harming the citizens. It's honestly impressive how Sarada and Sumire were even able to last this long, even if they were lying to EIDA about how they actually were affected by the ability, just to keep Damon from being suspicious of them. The pressure now turned up for Kawaki and the others. Not only is Mitsuki in a position to discover the truth, but now that one of the Shinju is after Naruto, there's an even bigger risk of the secret getting exposed. And if Kawaki thinks he could just get rid of the Shinju by himself to keep Naruto safe, what's stopping him from just sealing everyone who finds out about his lie? Especially if this threatens his plan to execute Boruto. So if you look at it like that, there is now little to no ways Kawaki can keep this secret safe without making a big move. Boruto and Shikamaru are now talking again. Amato has overcame omnipotence. Mitsuki is now in a position to overcome it as well. And now the Shinju are after the 7th Hokage as well. You see, unless Kawaki cuts his losses, at least one of these will expose him for being a fraud. And thus, the problem would escalate even further than it ever did. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Is Shikamaru now in danger now that he's involved himself with Boruto? Or do you think he'll be able to stay undetected by EIDA and help Boruto in the shadows? And exactly what do you think they can accomplish with their new top secret plan? Everyone leave your thoughts in the comment section because I'm interested in seeing what you all think. The chapter 7 prediction video will be coming out in the next few days or so, and from my last prediction video, we was pretty spot on, so I'm looking forward to see what I can muster up for chapter 7. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button because it does help the video massively in the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any videos and you know when I go live for chapter leaks. And until my next video, I'm out. Peace.